I call the honourable member Colin King.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. It is a pleasure to make a contribution during the first reading of the Animal Welfare Amendment Bill, and I must commend the level of debate that has preceded me, and there's no doubt a lot of emotion, a lot of passion for all of the welfare of animals. And when one reflects the progress that has actually been made over the last 30 years in managing this topic, one can say that there has been a marked improvement. However, that having been said, it is also very clear that society's expectations have moved along considerably. Fundamentally, Mr Speaker, this bill will establish a framework under which enforceability, clarity and transparency can occur. And when we look at that enforceability, there were some very passionate arguments put forward from various contributors to this debate, but unless we have a framework whereby those people with the responsibility can actually make people accountable for poor practice or for cruelty, then it's of no avail. And that is where the difficulty really lies, because there quite often isn't a silver bullet to addressing these issues, and it needs to be well thought through. As they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So effectively, this is what the bill endeavours to do, and we acknowledge the fact that we, as a nation, 50% of our export receipts come from the sale of animal proteins, and so on that basis, we have got to be very, very resilient and very accountable and transparent in the way we deal with things. Just looking at the two sides of the debate, we have the agricultural basis, which is enormous, but on the other hand, we have a large population of domestic pets. It's interesting at the time that I think about it, the saying is that the dog admires its owner, the cat despises its owner, and the pig treats the human as equal. And it's quite humorous, but however, we are surrounded by animals. We have 1.5 million cats in New Zealand. We have close to 500,000 domestic dogs, 31 million sheep, 3.75 million beef cattle, 6.5 million dairy cattle, and 1 million deer. So when you look at the proportionality of 4.5 million New Zealanders dealing with a population of that size, and yet we're feeding probably 20 to 30 million people worldwide, and that's what maintains our standard of living. It is crucial that we do maintain locally, nationally and internationally a leading standard around animal welfare. I certainly welcome the opportunity and the debate around the psychoactive substances. It'll be very important that we actually take away the heartstring tugs that we feel of the difficulty around the morals of that situation. But again, when we boil it all down effectively and we think of the national effect, one only has to cast their minds back to the 6 o'clock news and what can appear on that. And unless we are really resourceful, that we have a framework around animal welfare that can in time develop. I see in the bill it's going to take up to 5 years to get some of these regulations really developed and setting in so that they do work appropriately. It's going to be 5 years. It gives us a lot of time to get it right, and I believe that the Select Committee has the resources and also the clarity of thought on balance of how to make this work. So, Mr Speaker, I certainly welcome the arrival of the Animal Welfare Amendment Bill, and in doing so we look forward to dealing with it in the Select Committee with great diligence and professionalism, and I commend this bill to the House.
I call the honourable